So here on YouTube, there seems to be a lot of very ignorant misconceptions about games that can be purchased on Steam. It seems that a lot of console gamers want, and I'm using that term, want to believe that once you buy a game on Steam, you never own it entirely. Basically saying that if you don't own a physical copy, you don't own the game. I'm here to tell you not only is that not true, but I'm going to show you how to actually own a physical copy of the game. It's actually fairly simple. Number one, you need to go ahead and actually purchase the game and have it installed on your hard drive. And B, you need to go ahead and have a CD, DVD, or Blu-ray writable or rewritable drive or disc. So, with that being said, and also if you want to check in the description below, I actually do have a Blu-ray writable disc, a writable drive rather, external Blu-ray writable drive in there on Amazon. That's actually a fairly decent price because I definitely recommend Blu-ray discs when you're actually going ahead and doing what I'm about to show you right now. So, without further ado, let me go ahead and show you how to go ahead and do this. One, you want to have the game installed on your computer and you want to go ahead and click on Library and then go ahead to where your games are. I'm going to choose just install games right here just to kind of, lower the actual list of games I actually have. And I actually have two games that I want to demonstrate right here, Resident Evil 6 and also Sonic CD. So what you want to do is this. Find the game in which you want to go ahead and back up. Right click it and then choose backup game files. Once you go ahead and choose backup game files, it'll actually have checked in terms of which game you actually want to back up. Now, I highly recommend that you actually do one game at a time, but it's entirely up to you. Go ahead and hit next. It'll actually ask you the destination in which you want to go ahead and back up the files at. Now, my particular one, my default directory is e://steam/backups. Most likely, your default directory is c://steam/backups. It's up to you. Go ahead and choose next. And after that, it'll ask you to name the backup file. I prefer just simple Resident Evil 6, but it's up to you. And then second, it's actually going to ask you the file size in which you want to do it. Now, basically what this means is that it's going to optimize the actual file size, highly dependent on which file size you actually use. So you can use a CD-ROM drive, or a CD drive, or a DVD drive, or rather DVD discs. Now, for example, if you see right here, Resident Evil 6 takes about 16 CDs in order to go ahead and have it installed on the physical media. Rather on a DVD, it's actually going to take you 3 discs. Now, I know a lot of you are thinking, well, wait a minute, Resident Evil 6 is actually available on the Xbox 360, which actually also uses DVD. So the magical question is, why is it that the DVD is actually 1 on the Xbox 360, whether it's 3 on the PC? It's actually a very good question. The reason why is because the DVD on the Xbox 360 version and the PlayStation 3 version are of lower quality than the actual PC version. The PC versions the PC version has higher quality textures and higher quality audio files, as well as other things that makes it higher quality, available only exclusive to a PC version. And because of that, it requires more discs to actually go ahead and get it running. So that's actually the answer to that. It may not be the answer you want to hear, but it is the answer. Now, as I said before, I recommend doing Blu-ray. And when you're doing Blu-ray, you have to go ahead to custom. And what you do is you actually have to put in the amount that of the size amount of the Blu-ray that you're using. So for mathematical sakes, I'm going to actually show you the formula because you have to put it in megabytes, not in gigabytes, but in megabytes. So if you're going to use a single-sided Blu-ray drive, it's actually going to be this amount. 25 gigabytes is equivalent to 25,600 megabytes. Okay? Let me repeat that. 25 gigabytes is equivalent to 25,600 megabytes. Now, if you want to use a double-layered or dual-layered Blu-ray, which is 50 gigabytes, the answer is going to be 50 gigabytes equals 51,200 megabytes. That's 51,200 megabytes, okay? Now, most likely you're going to be using this one, so I'll leave it here. So once you do that, you choose next, and then you can go ahead and it'll actually start to go ahead and back up to a physical media drive. Now, I'm actually going to use a smaller game file to go ahead and show you how this works. So, like I said, click on Backup Game Files. Only Sonic CD is actually highlighted, or rather checked. Next. This directory is going to. Next. This is the actual name of the actual file. That's good. We can choose whatever we want. In this case, I'm just going to leave it the CD because it doesn't really matter. This game is actually less than 400 megabytes. So you click on Next. Now, as you see right here, what it's doing right now is actually detected the size of the files, and it's going to go ahead and actually install it and give you a time remaining, as well as how many megabytes are actually already installed. Now, it's actually a lot easier to go ahead and install on your hard drive first because your hard drive is faster than any other disk that you have available. So there you go. So once you do that, it'll go ahead and bring you to this screen, which means it open up your backup folder. Once you do that, it'll bring up this particular area right here. See? /Steam/backups. You get to choose directory in terms of which game you want to back up. We backed up Sonic CD. It'll say what discs. There's only one disc available, so one disc. Then it'll bring you to this. Now, what I would recommend doing is this. Highlight all three of these. Right-click it, if you can do this. Right-click it and just go ahead and send it directly to your actual DVD or CD or Blu-ray writable drive. Now, that's one way you can do it, or just go ahead and, copy and paste it right there. Whichever way you want to get it to your drive, it's fine. Now, once you do that, right, there you go. Physical media of the drive. You got the physical copy of the actual game. Now, you can go ahead and actually get like certain programs to go ahead and kind of like print out like something on the disc, which means that you can have a customizable, image on your disc, as well as go ahead and print out a Blu-ray copy of the actual, or a Blu-ray copy of the case, rather. So I'm actually going to have a website linked below later on, not right now, but way later on some customizable things that we have available here in terms of like a Blu-ray drive version of a Steam game or a DVD version of a Steam game. You know what I mean? Like, the cases. We're going to get into that in another video, though. How to go ahead and get it up, back, and working is very simple. You go up here to the upper left-hand corner, click on Steam. Click on Backup and Restore Games. Then you go ahead and click on Restore a Previous Backup. After that, it'll go ahead, and if you look right here, the next is actually not highlighted. That's because it needs to find the exact game in which we're going to go ahead and use. So you got to go to Browse, and you got to go ahead and find where your game is at. Now, you can go ahead and click up here if your game is actually on a CD-ROM drive already, and click on like here or wherever your CD-ROM drive is. Make sure that if you actually copied the actual directory of Sonic CD or whatever directory it's in, you need to make sure that you send it directly to the directory, okay? In this case, it would be Sonic CD right here. So let me go ahead and cancel this out. I'm actually going to go ahead and delete the local file here. And I'm actually going to go ahead and actually install the game. So click on Backup and Restore Game Files. Click on Restore Game Files. Click on Browse here. Choose Sonic CD directory, because that's where it's at. Select, as you see right here, the next button that's actually highlighted. Click here. It'll ask me where do I want to install it. I'm going to install it in my regular drive right here. And then go ahead and next. Go ahead. Now, the reason why this is actually good is because this actually works out on multiple aspects. You can actually start making physical copies of your game, and if you are someone who actually has a solid state media drive, or media hard drive rather, you can go ahead and actually play the games directly to your solid state, making it run a hell of a lot faster, and then you can go ahead, when you're done, you can go ahead and remove the disc, put it back where it goes, and delete the save, delete the backup files, and there you go. Keep in mind though, that a couple of things I want to recommend. I want to let you know. Number one, will it actually save your save files? Yes, you can actually back up your save files to a disk. Only only platform that can do that is actual PC. That's number one. The backups automatically have them. Number two, do you have to have it installed? Yes, you do have to have it installed to do it. So just letting you know that. Aside from that, there you go. It gives you all the information right here, including you have to have, you can access these games at any time from any computer by logging on to your Steam account, Zephyrnix, which means I have to be installed on my Zephyrnix account in order to do it. It's all gravy. It's all gravy. And that's it from there. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe to this particular channel here, and you guys have a good night.